Hi, everyone. Welcome to Bloomingdale's On Screen. I'm Arielle Siboni, the fashion director for Ready to Wear, and I'm coming to you live from Studio 59 at our flagship store in New York City. Before I formally welcome our amazing guests, I want to go over a few things with those of you watching at home. So we'd love to hear from you tonight, so please feel free to ask questions, and you can do so by either clicking the Q&A button on your screen or just dropping your question in the chat. Also, we will be sending out a shoppable lookbook via email at the conclusion of the event. So be sure to check your inbox for all of the great styles you are about to see here today. As a surprise for our event attendees only, Alice and Olivia is offering 30% off when you spend $500 or more on our site today and tomorrow. So be sure to take advantage of that amazing offer. And the code for that is Stacey30, and that is Stacey with an E. And lastly, be sure to stick around till the very end, as we will be giving away a fabulous prize package, a stylish dress from the Alice and Olivia Spring Summer Collection, and a 1-hour consultation with Mindy Weiss. So without further ado, it is time to welcome our special guests. We have Stacey Bendet, the founder and creative director of Alice and Olivia, the founder of Creatively, the co-founder of #ShareTheMicNow. And on top of it all, she is a mom to 3 beautiful daughters. Stacey is known for bringing her world of color and whimsy to life through her design and her events. And we have Mindy Weiss, who is known around the world as one of the industry's most creative minds and calming presences on an event day. With a home base in LA and a portfolio around the globe, Mindy produces weddings, celebrity events, social celebrations, and nonprofit galas for people around the world, including Justin and Hailey Bieber, Russell and Nina Westbrook, and the Kardashians. So welcome, Stacey and Mindy.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Arielle. Hi, everybody. I think I might be Mindy's biggest fan on this Zoom, so I'm honored to be here with you.
And back at you. Big time.
Well, thank you both so much for joining me. Both Stacey and Mindy are wearing Alice and Olivia from head to toe and are stationed in front of a Mindy Weiss inspired visual decor moment, which you can see is absolutely gorgeous and so beautiful. So the last year has been a little bit strange, to say the least. I think we've all been spending a lot of time at home wearing sweatpants, but there's finally light at the end of the tunnel. We are all starting to socialize and celebrate life's moments a bit more. So let's talk about what we are doing this summer, where we're going, but most importantly, what we are going to be wearing. So Stacey, our first question is for you. What was your inspiration behind the Alice and Olivia Spring Summer Collection, and where did you see the Alice and Olivia girl going?
Well, when our theme for spring was "Come Dance with Us," because we were making perhaps an optimistic assumption that by spring, the world would be coming back to normal, that people would want to dance again, to go to events again. And while that might not have happened in the early parts of spring, let's say February, March, like now you're really feeling that. People are outside, they're at restaurants, they're vaccinated, they want to go to weddings, they want to go to dinners. And so our clothes were meant to have this just optimistic, sort of feminine, flirty feel that we felt like was going to resonate with women now. And I think that is the moment we're in right now. I mean, girls are so excited to put on dresses, to put on silk blouses, to even wear jeans, and to just, be back out in the world, whether it's out at a dinner or going to a friend's birthday or, a big Mindy Weiss wedding, I think, and that's really what our Come Dance With Us theme was about.
That's so nice. And you can absolutely tell that you were feeling optimistic while designing. Just looking at the clothes behind me, they're so bright and colorful and springy. I absolutely love it. So speaking of weddings, can you share some of your favorite items on your line for a summer wedding?
Oh my God, we have so many. We purposely did a lot of dresses that could be worn not for the bride, but maybe it's for the bride for her brunch or for the wedding guest. Our Jocelyn dress in light blue with the godets is so gorgeous. The dress you have on, that one shoulder dress, is like the perfect dress to be a wedding guest in. We have these amazing dresses coming in May and June that are, we did this cream on cream embroidery dress. We did this cream and red dress that's all tiered ruffles with engineered prints. And we did a lot of just like flirty little dresses, like our Crawford dress or our road dresses that sequin that are just the perfect dress to get up and dance in and go to a party in. So yeah, oh, did my video just go out? But anyway, so there's so many dresses on both like the Bloomingdale site and on our site that just have an amazing, sort of like I'm ready for a party feel. We did these little crystal mesh dresses that I love if you want to be sexier. We did a gorgeous white linen jumpsuit if you want something, a little more avant-garde for a wedding. And, we did a lot of just like beautiful maxi dresses. So that dress is this beautiful white embroidery dress. There are just so many pieces that I think will resonate for event season.
I love that. And those white dresses are perfect for bride-to-be, whether, you're celebrating a bridal shower.
We did like indie bride dresses and then like wedding guest dresses. But right now we have a dress called the Jocelyn dress, the Crawford dress, and they're just flirty and fun and like the perfect wedding guest outfits.
Absolutely. So our next question is for Mindy. And when designing an event, what role does fashion play for you? Do you consider at all what your guests are wearing, and how does that kind of dictate your design process?
Well, a lot of people ask me where I get inspiration from, and it's very much from the fashion shows. So not only am I looking for color, style, fashion in the next season, this is where we get inspiration for flowers, for the future colors. I always tell my brides, look ahead, because that is what's coming. And if you've been on the Alice and Olivia Instagram, talk about inspiration, okay? Every backdrop is a party for me, okay? I don't know if everyone's getting inspired, but in my mind, everybody in my office is looking at the colors, the background, the accessories, the fashion. And it is huge in my world, in my party industry. It's not only about bride magazines. It's about fashion forward. What is new? How are you going to make your event different? And I follow fashion through and through.
Thank you. I always say that at an event, you need to dress to match the room. So, you could be in the most beautiful dress in the world, but if it's not in line with what your surroundings are, it doesn't work, right? Like, and it's always like that moment where, it's a combination of the background, the lighting, and what you have on that perfect that story.
Yes, even for my
You did a great job today. You're perfect.
Matching my inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
This Alice and Olivia dress, which by the way is not only perfect for a cocktail situation, but I would wear this to one of my bridal showers and to the brunch. This inspired me. As you see, it inspired.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
Good.
Yeah, I like when an outfit feels like it's part of the party, and the best photos, the best memories are when, you're in that dress that just makes you feel like you can conquer the world. But part of that dress being so perfect is when it's the right dress at the right time in the right space.
And you feel comfortable in that space.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times we don't even design our events till I ask them, what are you wearing? What does your wedding gown look like? What are you wearing to the rehearsal dinner? Because that kind of, dictates what direction we're going to go in.
Exactly.
That's so interesting and such good advice. Are you seeing any particular color trends? Obviously, when you hear bride, you think white, but what colors are popping up for you for summer?
Well, for me, we're seeing color. I think people have been stuck inside for so long that we're seeing pops, actually deep pops of color in every aspect, from the ceremony to the cocktail area to the dinner party. Even if my brides are a white and green bride, the green is bright and pungent and exciting.
And I think it's the same with clothing. Right now, everyone wants print and color and fun. And, no one's dying to be in like a boring black dress right now. Like if you're going out, you're like, I want to wear flamingos, like I want color. And we've been seeing right now like a huge like pastel kind of boom. And I think that's this sort of ode to femininity and wanting to feel just light and flirty and feminine. But going into fall, the colors continue and just get bolder and brighter and stronger.
And I think the pandemic brought on this bravery or this self-confidence where they're coming to me with much more exciting ideas and a lot more daring design that we're seeing now.
I totally agree. I feel like we're seeing a ton of color out there and a lot of embellishment as well. I think people are really excited to get out and get dressed up again, which is really nice. So we have our first audience question for both of you. When attending a party, what are your 3 must-have items to carry in your bag?
For me or Stace?
Both of you.
Okay, you go, Stace.
I always have a little blush because I feel like you always need just like a little bit of color in your cheek. I mean, shockingly, I always have a little bit of black eyeliner too. And what's my 3rd item? I mean, I always have my phone, but I don't know if that counts.
No, but
That counts.
Yeah, I think it counts, but mine is definitely breath mints. I always make sure, I always have them carry a lip gloss, even though they may have a stain on their lips. My brides and the bridesmaids, they need to refresh themselves with lip gloss. And I agree with Stacey, a blush, because that's the first to go. And always
Wait,
have
and my other
yeah.
My other favorite item is, literally, this is on my desk, but I always have this like MAC sparkle that you put on and it gives you like this little, just like goldeny sparkly glow. But if it explodes in your bag, it's not one of the 3
That's
items.
trouble. Yeah, not one of your favorites.
Then your entire room is covered in glitter.
Forever. Yeah.
Which happened to me a few days ago.
So we have a lot of bride-to-bes attending tonight. Someone in the audience wants to know what is a great piece of advice for their wedding day?
Well, on my end, a great piece of advice is let go. Whatever's going to happen on that day, you do not have control of it. You have to let it take a life of its own. You want to enjoy and not stress about what's happening each moment. I don't let the bride see a schedule that day. I don't like them to wear a watch that day. But if you let go, and you know what, something may happen, but turn it into your story. Turn it into a positive. But
that's such good advice.
Right. The brides that don't let go don't enjoy the day.
That's such great advice, because I think while I don't obviously throw a lot of weddings, I do throw a ton of events. And so often when I go to someone else's event, I have the best time. At my own events, I'm always kind of micromanaging and making sure everything's organized, and every scene has to be perfect, every wall has to be this. And like by the end of it, you're like, you don't really have fun at your own event. So for brides, you have to, it's true, you've got to trust that you've got, great support around you, and try to like live in the moment. And
only 8 hours. You can do it. You can let go for 8 hours. It's not that long.
So it seems like a long time, but it goes by quickly.
Very quickly.
So we have another audience question. Someone wants to know, do you believe that some colors don't look good on some people, and how do you decide what color is good for you?
Yeah, everyone has their colors, like everyone has colors that accentuate their skin tone. And I like to call it fashion color therapy. And some people like love blue, but like their skin tone just doesn't work with blue. Some people, love orange or yellow, but they just can't do it. So it's actually like, you can do this with a friend. It's like makeup, like I can't wear like purple or gray on my eye. It has to be like a black or a pink, right? Like you need to understand like what colors really, accent your face and skin tone at best. There's certain colors that kind of look good on everyone. Like everyone always sort of looks pretty in white. But in general, there are absolutely colors that are like meant that really will like sort of uplift your, the sort of tone of your skin and make you look kind of younger and lighter. Happier, I mean, like lighter isn't happier.
And I'm lucky because the bride typically wears white or
Yeah.
or antique white. But then when the designers started coming out with blush dresses and there were baby blue wedding gowns for a while, it was interesting to see what they chose because most people are attracted to certain colors.
I like all colors.
Yes, you are. You are color. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mindy, have most of your brides been wearing white, or have you seen any wedding dresses that are a little bit less traditional?
Well, the year coming up, I've seen some less traditional, a lot of this blush, a little bit of a toffee color, which is interesting. You know, some of the gowns don't go white, don't go ivory, but take another step further into a caramel toffee color. So that's all I have seen. I haven't seen a pink dress this year, but I'd say predominantly white.
It's so interesting because someone just asked, is white an okay color to wear during the fall or winter? Is it better to wear beige?
Oh, I don't think it matters as a bride.
Yeah.
You play with everything as a bride.
That's true. That's why I loved being a bride, because you got to get away with everything. But what if you're not a bride?
Well, if you're not a bride, then you're dressing for an event. This is your time to shine. You know, a lot of people on the wedding invitations, you know, there is an attire on there. So it could be cocktail attire, formal attire, black tie attire. And even on the wedding websites, we explain what the attire is because people still do not understand what they're supposed to wear. So we literally do samples of dresses of what they should wear, what the man should wear. But I always say, this is your time to shine. How are you going to stand out amongst all the guests and be appropriate? But I always say, stand out. And this wedding I did last weekend, it's been so long. I just had so much fun looking at the outfits. I could tell a lot of them weren't new because I'm fashion obsessed, but it was very interesting to see how they were accessorized, big fat heels, which I was surprised about. And it was a lot of fun.
And also people were so excited to just get glam and
definitely lots of makeup. It was really, and lots of pretty little purses. Yeah.
Another audience question for you. Where are the names Alice and Olivia from, Stacey?
Olivia is my mom. And when I started, I felt like, you know, first of all, I was like 23. And when I thought about every woman and, you know, their first fashion inspiration, you know, whether you admit it or not, it's your mom. And I had a very cool mom who my, you know, sort of images above my desk when I started Alice Olivia were my mom in these like crazy bell-bottom jeans, you know, and even when she got married on her wedding day, side note and fun fact, Fred Leighton was a wedding dress designer before he was a jewelry designer, and he designed my mom's wedding dress. And at the time it was, you know, it was like the mid 70s. It was like these cool, like, you know, you'd wear these almost like cotton lacy wedding dresses, and she wore big bell bottoms underneath. And that was like my sort of like Alice and Olivia inspo image was like, that to me was like rock star cool, was this 70s vibe of these, you know, sort of like bell bottoms and putting a dress over it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. My mom was really cool too. She had great fashion. She wore those high thigh up boots, and I have a picture of her, and you know, she was probably much older than your mom, Stace, but one of those hand painted pictures with the fur, and that set off my collection of vintage women portraits because they all look like my mom.
Yeah, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So for New York Fashion Week this year, I know presentations are possibly happening. Do you have anything planned that you'd love to give us a sneak peek of?
Well, we're definitely going to do a presentation, and we're definitely going to announce a very fun collaboration. But I
Ooh.
can't tell you what that is yet. You're going to have to wait and see.
Well, I can't wait to see. And hopefully Mindy will be doing the backdrops for
Sure.
them.
I mean, Mindy and I need to collaborate on a
Signing
big
you
event
up.
soon.
Something, Stacey. Yes.
Another audience question for you. Any good advice for mother of the bride dresses? And are there any that you would suggest from your line?
I would say, like, for mother of the bride, we have definitely dresses that are coming in like June in our more like gown collection that are perfect. Again, we have this cream, almost like cottony linen dress with like red engineered floral embroidered tiers that would be like gorgeous. And we have, again, like coming over the summer, things that are a little more like mother of the bride occasion. We made a lot of dresses, obviously, for spring, and we felt, you know, really strongly about that. But we didn't do a lot of like gown and occasion until really our June delivery, because, you know, no one knew if you were going to be able to have large events.
Right.
And we didn't want to, you know, it was in the fall, I made some gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous pieces. And it was so sad when I was like, no one has anyone to wear these to, you know, I have, but we did make this one cream and blue gown that sold out so fast, and I was shocked. It's similar to the pattern of the dress Mindy's wearing, but it's a gown. And it sold out in March within weeks. And we're recutting it. So that's coming back in, and it is like the perfect mother of the bride dress. It's white and blue, and it's got this amazing engineered print, and it's just elegant. You know, the mother of the bride should be elegant.
Mindy, any advice on what a mother of the bride should wear?
Right. It's always a challenge because the mother also waits till the bride buys her dress, and it's always a conversation no matter what, because I find my mother of the brides have a hard time finding dresses, but not to outdo the bride. That's the number one rule. You know,
Yes,
I have
absolutely.
had mothers wear extremely large ball gowns, which, you know, to each its own, but I always think let the bride be the star, and try to blend into the color palette. If the color palette is, you know, creams and blush and nudes, it's not a good idea to wear a red dress.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think the mother of the bride, like, I have plenty of dresses that would like be pretty as a mother of the bride dress, but it's true, you really want to be a part of the party.
Right.
And you know, you want to be maybe a little more special than the guests, but you want to be there sort of as the, you know, you're like the backup dancer to the bride. And I think Mindy's right. Like, you've got to, as mother of the bride, the best advice is to really pay attention to what the event looks like, what the rooms look like, what the flowers look like, and complement those versus compete with it.
Yes. I mean, you could still be a star, and you could still be a little more dressy than all your guests, but, you know, you don't have to blend in, but, you know, be a part of the party, like Stacey said.
It's so funny because someone had just asked, are there any colors that are off limits as mother of the bride? So I feel like you guys were ahead of that one and answered it perfectly. Can you share some of your most memorable and fashion moments in your careers?
For me first?
Sure, whoever wants to go first. Just your most memorable fashion events.
Most memorable moments. I mean, I guess some of the most memorable moments were obviously my fashion shows, CFDA awards. Oh gosh, there was one time where I decided to wear, I'm that person who, like, if they wear white, something always spills on them. And I was on my way to the CFDA awards with one of my best friends, Mia Moretti, who's like an amazing DJ and poet.
Love Mia.
Yeah,
her.
Love Mia.
Love.
So Mia and I were on our way, and I was wearing an entirely white outfit, and my skirt was entirely made of feathers. And Mia decides to pop open this bottle of champagne. And by the time we got there, I smelled like a wet bird. Like, I was covered in champagne, and we had to go. And I was like literally sitting there trying to put my skirt like in the air conditioned vent and like dry it off. And we had to go walk that red carpet, and I was like soaking in like wet feathered champagne. So I never forgot. That was my kind of like, I was thinking of like bride outfits, fashion. I did have a sort of chic bride outfit. Managed to look good in the photos, but I felt that was not my best moment. But other great fashion moments, I mean, for me, like sometimes it's one of my events, and sometimes it's just seeing someone look amazing in, you know, one of our dresses. One time my husband, who's not into fashion at all, who literally walks around in like sweatpants and flip-flops, was like, "You're never gonna guess who was talking about your clothes." And I'm like, who? Like, you never care about who's talking about my clothes. Howard Stern's wife, Beth Stern, Howard Stern was saying on the show that his wife wore an Alice and Olivia dress. They had like a beach barefoot wedding, and she wore one of our halter dresses. So those are my two semi-bride stories.
Right. I love wearing beautiful. I'm a label whore. I love dressing. But I always try to dress down on the wedding day because obviously it's not about me. But my fashion inspirations come a lot from some of my celebrity brides, because they are fortunate enough to have a lot of great designers designing their dress, and they become a trend, they become the next big thing. But like Beth's halter, you know, that became a wonderful image for a wedding dress for a really long time. So the unexpected, you know, the second dress went away for a minute, then changing came right back really quickly when people wanted to be more comfortable later on. So then I got another fashion moment. You know, people say, "Oh, my dress costs so much, I want to wear it all night." Yes, I totally understand that. But the ones that want to change, I get so excited because it changes the room, it changes everything, and the party's reinvigorated again when the bride comes out in a whole nother look.
If you feel like the bride's outfit is not working with the room, will you change something?
Well, I know what the outfit is ahead of time.
Right. Okay.
Yes, definitely. If it's a beach wedding and the dress is Beverly Hills Hotel, I know how to start transitioning so the dress goes with the party.
Goes with it. Yeah.
So speaking of amazing dresses, Mindy, the audience is loving your outfit and they want to know if you can stand up and give us a twirl. Show us the full look.
Okay, let me see how to do this. So you can't see me. I'm kind of, guys, I'm all sort of in here. I can't even back up, but look at this belt. You can't even see the different pattern on the belt, and look at my sleeves.
It's embroidered.
There's such amazing detail.
Amazing. I was so excited because I thought, okay, I just looked online and I ordered what I thought was just so cool because I don't have anything like this, and it fit perfectly. I didn't have to do anything.
Well, it looks amazing on you.
Yeah. So
and then we're getting a ton of wedding questions and a ton about what to wear. So someone wants to know, what is the best wedding dress shape for a petite bride?
You first?
Yeah. Again, I think a wedding dress has to, just like what colors work for you, your wedding dress shape has to work for you. So, you know, if you're really petite, you probably don't want to wear something that's like cropped. You want to like elongate, right? And I think it's really about playing into your body. Like, if you know you want your wedding dress shape to be less about trend and more about what works for you. And I think it is less about height and more about body shape. You know, do you want a dress that accentuates your waist and is princessy? Are you really slender and you want something, really fitted and clean with a train? But if you're petite and you want to look taller, the best thing is to have like a really long gown and do like a platform shoe that's still comfortable underneath. And I think it's less about your height and more about what parts of your body you really feel best about and want to show off, because that's what's going to make you feel your best.
Right.
And most often a bride goes into a bridal shop because they've looked at all these pictures and they definitely have a vision in mind. 9 times out of 10, they are not buying the dress that they think would look best on them without putting it on.
Right.
So a lot of times the petite bride who has the most fantastic body, in my mind, I think, okay, they're going to go for something tight, low back, you know, a little dip in the front. And sometimes they end up in a princess dress. It's the feeling of what you feel like. People sometimes don't feel like a bride till they put on that dress. And then something comes over them and they become this magical fantasy feeling that they were hoping for.
I feel like you always go in with a certain expectation and always walk out with something different.
100%. I love to see the final result, always. And then there's that timid bride that I go, okay, this is going to be a very simple, you know, understated, unembellished, and then they come out with the most fabulous out there dress. And I like, oh, I was wrong on the design of the wedding. I'm changing everything.
No way.
Yeah, I can tell. Sometimes they're just quiet and you think, okay, very subtle, demure, and then wow, you know, so I don't know till the dress.
One last question from our audience. Regardless of budget, what are the essential elements when throwing a party?
Okay, so for me, great music, entertainment. The food, sometimes you don't have a choice if it's good or bad. Sometimes you're at a place that's not what they do best. So I know a lot of people won't agree with this. Great entertainment. If it's not a sober wedding, a nice bar, nice full bar, and stick with your partner all night. Don't separate the day of your wedding. Stick together. You know, you could spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, but you can't buy the mush. If you don't feel that emotion and your guests don't feel it, I feel it's a fail. So that's what people are going to, you want them to leave your wedding saying, oh my God, that felt incredible. Not, wow, how much was that wedding? That would upset me.
Yeah. I think for me, like the way I always rate an event is when I throw those parties and it's like the time is up, you know, it's 8 to 10 and it's like 10:15 and no one's leaving. I'm like, this was fun.
Oh,
and I think it's always a combination of the guest list, the decor, you know, making the space feel warm and inviting and fun and giving a good energy, and the music and the cocktails, right? And that's not always about the budget. It's about the curation and the attention to detail in what you're doing.
Exactly. And personalizing it. You know, if you're getting married, chances are you're on the wedding circuit. So what is going to make your wedding different from all the rest so that they know they're at your wedding? What can you pull out of yourself where they go, oh, that was so Susan, that was so John, you know, so they know exactly whose wedding they are. And Stacey, you're so right. When we can't get them off the dance floor at the end of the night and I'm dying to go home, I know it was very successful.
That's when you know everyone had a good time. So one last audience question. This one's for Stacey. What will you be wearing to parties this fall?
This fall, oh my gosh. I cannot wait to wear little party dresses this fall. We did just some like adorable dresses and a lot of stuff in like vegan leathers that's like a little bit sexy, but also flirty, you know, like kind of party skirts again. And we did this pearl encrusted little party dress that I can't wait to wear. We also did some like edgier plaid looks that I think are like a way to like be a little, you know, sort of like edgy but feminine. And I always love just like a big ball gown skirt. We did this like black crocodile skirt with like a white border that like I can't wait to walk into a room wearing. And we did these like big kind of neon tulle skirts too. Just those like kind of skirts that make an entrance. But I mean, I think that when everyone looks at, I think as soon as everyone kind of said to me, hey, parties are back and party dressing is really important again, I was like, yes. And we just had so much fun with it. So I would say party dresses, platform shoes, 70s vibes, like you know, kind of like rocker chic. It's just dressing up is going to be so fun this fall.
And nobody's going to judge. No one's going to judge because they're so excited to be out themselves. And it's almost going to be like, to me, a curated art show, you know, to see what people are wearing. Yeah.
This fall, it's going to be like, there's no such thing as overdressed.
Oh my God. Everyone says the roaring 20s are coming back as far as we used to celebrate. So I know my phone's ringing off the hook. It's unbelievable.
But I also think we're going to have this sort of endless summer where people don't want to leave their like summer dresses and beach days and, you know, and that kind of thing too. So I think fall is going to come a little later almost.
Yeah, I hope so. Because everybody had their clothes that they bought last year to wear for the summer that they weren't able to wear.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I think people will also be going out and looking for a ton of new things. I think that they've been wearing the same thing over and over again and are just going to be excited to get dressed up again. So amazing to know what you have coming down the line.
I mean, it's hard to do this on Zoom, right? Like if I were standing in my store, I'd be like this dress and that. But literally right now, like I look at my clothes, even in my office, and like every single dress, I just can't wait to walk around and wear. And like, not even to an event, I'm like, I'll wear that to brunch, you know, because it just feels good to be like outside and, you know, and just to feel a little fancy again.
Absolutely. So unfortunately, we are almost out of time. But before we go, I want to announce the winner of our giveaway, who is Caitlin Ryan. So congratulations. We will be in touch with you after the event. And thank you so much, Stacey and Mindy, for joining us. It was a blast. I had so much fun hanging out with you. And for
Mindy,
those of you,
I cannot wait to do an event with you one day.
So I can't wait to see you. Yeah.
Bye.
hopefully soon.
All right. Thank you guys.
Thanks, everyone. For those of you at home, if you want to shop the looks you saw during the event, we'll be sending out a shoppable lookbook shortly via email. So be sure to keep your eye on your inbox. And thank you again so much for joining us. We look forward to seeing you on screen again soon.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.